Hello, you beautiful, amazing, smart, talented, amazing people listening out there. This is Keltie, virtually beside savannahwrightvideos. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm excited because it's a little holiday episode. Woo,
I
woo,
was
woo.
I was just gonna go and break into tune, and then I realized I don't think there's Thanksgiving songs. There's
Uh,
Halloween songs, there's Christmas tunes, but I don't think
that's
Thanksgiving.
true. Also, not all of our viewers have Thanksgiving, so we're aware of that. But you know what? This could also be taken as a Christmas one too, for fun.
True. I guess you did. You were very inclusive that you said
I was.
holidays. You didn't say Thanksgiving, but like low key,
You threw it in.
we're talking, oh, it's Thanksgiving month. But yes, holidays in general. It is the holiday season. But
We're
a lot of
talking
you,
gobble gobble,
gribs and wobbles.
trial and trouble. Okay, wait. Side note. You know
Hmm.
how I have told you guys that Michael's never seen Hocus Pocus?
Yes.
Last night he was like, we only have a day left till Halloween. Do you want to watch your Halloween movie? And I looked at him and I said, Hocus Pocus? And he was like, yeah. But like, I really wanted to finish Only Murders in the Building because I couldn't watch it being in Europe.
Yeah.
So I was like, we'll watch it tonight. So I'm so excited. Hocus Pocus Virgin.
I'm excited for you.
No pun
Enjoy
intended.
it. Enjoy
For
it.
the storyline.
Oh, yeah. It's been so long.
Right?
I need to rewatch it. I don't even remember the storyline. I'm practically gonna, but that's kind of magical when you get to rewatch a show you know you like. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. I feel stressed out
But
though because I'm like, we have to fit all the Halloween towns in and we got a day. And Hocus Pocus.
get going. Okay, let's get going because
get
you
going.
got stuff to do. You got stuff to do.
I got shit to see that I can quote because I've seen it so many times. Okay, so I thought hot takes could be fun for the holidays, Thanksgiving themed. So my first hot take is the Macy's Day Parade is the best thing about Thanksgiving. I don't care what you say. It's like all I care about, and my family, they are like so annoyed at me every year because I will not move from the couch until the Macy's Day Parade is done.
Nice. Can't relate. Don't like I know what it is, but
It's
not
just
up
nostalgic.
here. Not up here. We don't have it. So here's my hot take is Canadians have a major identity crisis come November because what season is it? Our Thanksgiving's in October. So we've had Thanksgiving, then we do Halloween, and then November is this weird everything we're getting fed is Thanksgiving. But we're over Thanksgiving. Like we already celebrated it and we're kind of ready for Christmas because it's kind of a Christmassy holiday season. And of course, obviously a lot of people don't celebrate these, but even the commercials and that and everything, we're like, do we dive into Christmas? But so we'll celebrate Black Friday, even though it's not our Thanksgiving. And it's this major identity crisis, I feel, as a Canadian. I'm like, what am I supposed to be feeling right now? Depressed? Happy? Anxious? I don't know. And so it's like, I always find November is this like, hold on for deep breath, Q4 madness, but like not holiday spirit. I don't really like November. Hot take, don't love November.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Well, my next one is American football during Thanksgiving. Why? Why is this necessary? Why do you have to have a football game on a family holiday? I get families like to watch it. Sorry, what are you going to say?
I was going to say, I have an opinion, but I jumped in. I thought you were done your sentence. My bad. Please finish yours.
Oh, I had a rant. Well, you know I hate football. Go. So
yeah.
People get very mad at me when I use the H word with football, but like, I'm so sorry. I cannot be bothered. Like, it's fine. I don't like it. Okay. Yeah, you'll never catch me. Even if Taylor Swift marries Travis, I still don't care about football. But it annoyed me because growing up in college, we had something called the Apple Cup, and it was always our rival schools would like go head to head or whatever the day after Thanksgiving. And it was super annoying because like I was with my family always. I didn't want to go to this football game. Or you'd have to drive all the way back to school in the middle of nowhere. And it was dangerous because it was super like stormy always because it's November. It snows in the mountains in Washington. And that's what I'm just going to say is I just think football doesn't need to be involved in Thanksgiving. Like just give me a break. Let me Black Friday shop and call it good.
Okay, fair. See, in my mind, it's just given America, Thanksgiving, football, family, America. in my mind, there's got to be football on Thanksgiving. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, how do we make it more American? So in my mind, I'm like, of course there's football. But this is, we don't have that. So I can't relate. But in my mind, I kind of like it as this very like cliche American thing.
Like the Friends episode where they play football on Thanksgiving.
This was like, it's like, I want that. I want the basic, overly dumb, not dumb, but you might be like so American that it's just America. So I like it as like someone could sue me television like Friends. Do you know what I mean?
You know,
I do
come
love
over
it.
to my dad's for Thanksgiving and you'll get America. You'll get the man that, you know, has a beer or a mimosa and he's making the turkey and he's like watching a football game on his TiVo and he's rewatching it just to make sure he didn't miss anything. And I'm just like, we don't get along on Thanksgiving. I'm like, Dad, I'm going to go for a run. This is stupid. I want Starbucks.
It's like you're all living in a TV show because we've only watched it. We've never lived it. So whenever I'm like, it's like, you're really doing it. I was like, it's Thanksgiving.
I didn't know that was weird, but I guess so.
Yeah, we just don't, our Thanksgiving's different. It's weird. It's kind of a forgotten holiday. It's just, we don't take it as, we do. It's the exact same holiday. It's just a month earlier. But because of that, we don't get any of the commercials. We don't really, it's weird. Do you know what I mean? Like we get all that, we get it in the Canadian channels, but the Canadians will get it. It's a little weird here. We're forgotten about. Our Thanksgiving's forgotten about.
It really is.
About. A boat. Boat.
Okay. What's your next one?
My next one is Black Friday to Boxing Day sales. Great. But is this all a scam now? Because I feel it used to be just Black Friday and then became Cyber Monday. And then because some people are doing that, they had to do a week ahead of sales. And then other people are like, how do we set it? We do the week after. And then it's Boxing Day sales, like that, which is 26. So they do it the week before now, Boxing Week. And now it's like it's a giant sale November, December. But there's also inflation. So my conspiracy theory now, has everyone just jacked up the price so they can pretend there's a sale for 2 months and just call it Black Friday or Boxing Day shopping? Because everything's expensive, but everything's on sale for these 2 months. So my conspiracy theory is that there's actually no longer a Black Friday because they jacked up the prices to pretend there's a Black Friday sale month. That's my new conspiracy theory.
That. There's always some weird sale. And then I'll be like, ooh, exciting. Always. And then I'll look and be like, that's actually not a good deal.
What'd you break down? But you know what is a great deal that I love? What? Sephora Days, 20% off in November if you have it. It's on until November 6th. Get on it.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Well, with that being said, guys, we thought it'd be fun to do. Also, apologies if it's echoey from me. I'm in my office and I finally am doing my office. Like I'm actually going to furnish it. I'm going to paint a wall. So bear with me. But we're doing some tips for navigating the holidays as a balanced girly, because I feel like spending time with the holidays with your family can kind of be a blessing, but also a curse, depending on the mood that you're in, your family dynamic, wherever you're located. So here are just our tips to kind of remain balanced and sane during this cheerful time.
Love.
All right. First things first is, and this one's coming strong for me, is set boundaries. Don't be afraid to set boundaries. If you're a people pleaser like me, I know this is really hard, but like family dynamics can be really overwhelming. And if you want to not lash out, if you want to stay sane, it's okay to set boundaries and take time to recharge. The way I do this when I visit, and I love my family, but like I love my alone time. And if I don't get it, I get grumpy. So go for a walk. Go to a coffee shop. My dad has this coffee shop that I always will go get up early in the morning. I'll do some work. It is so nice. I come home being like, okay, what are we doing today? I don't feel stressed out. Or get like a gym week pass. I also do that a lot where I'll just like go to LA Fitness? Yep. Or like if they have a car, just borrow it in the mornings. The key is the morning. So then you can still do everything.
I love that. And even just expressing it, because I think it's very common, like myself, I go back home and I'm an adult now. I have my own morning routine, my own rituals. And then I go back and suddenly I'm inserted back into my old ways with my mom and, family there. And the one thing that would always happen is I get out, my childhood bedroom is across from the bathroom, which is next to my mom's office. So she's always in like first thing. And so I'd get up and I have to go pee and I'm like half asleep because what do I do normally? Get up, pee, skincare, coffee, have a moment to myself that I take on the world. And suddenly I open the door and it's Keltie, and my mom's like saying like 100 things and I love her to death. But in that moment, I just want to punch her because I'm like, I need to pee, I need coffee, no one talk to me. And like, but then I'd feel bad because I'd be like so grouchy. So that I just expressed to her, I was like, just gonna warn you, I need my coffee. I need just like a few minutes to myself. And now she knows, like, I'm just not going to talk to Keltie the first 10 minutes. And then she's like, oh my God, I'm blabbered. Cause like, and just like you said, a boundary sometimes doesn't have to be so like, da-da-da. It can just be like I just need like 10 minutes to warm up in the morning.
Yeah, that's fair. And I think they'd understand that because we've all changed through our times.
Exactly. My mom, it's just, you also feel bad because she's just excited I'm there. So also I don't want to rain on her parade.
Exactly.
But I'm an adult. I'm cranky before my coffee now. I'm not 14.
Totally. Or even like if you're somebody that likes to exercise every day and you go home, I know a lot of girls talk to me about that I train, that they're like, I feel so stressed out. Like they don't want me to leave. They want to spend time with me. And it's like, if you just sit down and talk to them and be like, look, this helps me. I feel better. It's an hour out of the day. I'm sure they'd understand.
Also, actually, I have another idea that expands onto that, but we'll talk about in a few points.
Okay. Do you want to throw the next point?
Plan healthy meals. So this was your point, so I'll let you take on a bit of this, but
I can expand yours. You want me to lead my points?
Yeah. Okay. These are your points. Maybe I was like, I can't read your mind.
I was trying to include you. Okay.
I appreciated it.
Okay. So 2 is plan healthy meals. And what I mean by this is obviously we're going to have the fun Thanksgiving holiday, cookies, candy, things like that. But if you ever want, like, for me, I like have a certain type of meal I like to eat, like breakfast, say. I'll just make sure like I'll either go to the grocery store. That way I don't, put that on to my parents or in-laws to get something. And I'll like be like, hey, I'll make breakfast today. And it's really fun because then like they get to see how you eat and like kind of make it a fun thing. Like I'll host dinner tonight. I'll make, I remember my parents wanted to like try my Buddha bowls that I used to make. And I was like, I'll make those. So not all your meals have to be healthy, but if you're like craving some routine with your nutrients, totally recommend just like ask if you can plan a couple. And also I think they'd like that. Like I think that's polite, especially if they're hosting, to be like, hey, let me take control. Let me treat you to dinner.
Exactly. And then I guess this is where like the dynamic is like, that's how I started reading this. I was like, oh, this isn't really my perspective, but I love that. Like you said, making fun this, and mine's the complete opposite. Cause for me, I spend all this time planning healthy meals, all this. I was like, it's so fun to go. And like my mom loves cooking. And, there was like a time when I was crazy in my bodybuilding that I'd bring my own stuff and do all that stuff. And I would miss out on like my mom making these great things for us. So like also if you're someone who's like super rigid and all this and you go home and you're not going to get access to your usual meals and all that, like instead of being like, oh, I'm off, be like, this is nothing to do with food. This has to do with family. And you're like, enjoy it. And don't be like, I think there's something really nice about being present and enjoying those moments. And like you said, also, if you're really craving something truly, and you're like, I would like some veggies, and my mom never cooks veggies, why not make a side dish of roasted Brussels sprouts or whatever the case is? But also, if you are someone who stresses out a bit about it, just go in and enjoy and be in the moment.
I love that. That's a good little playoff. Okay. Well, 3 is it's kind of play off of the healthy meals, but bring your own, supplements, snacks, food. And what I mean by that is like, I always take greens for my digestive system. I can't expect my parents to have greens. So I always will just like bring them. That way it's just easier. I'm not like stressed out with like obviously there's a reoccurring thing with my digestive system, but also I'll like buy my own coffee creamer, or like now my parents, both my dad and my mom, know what coffee creamer I like, which is really thoughtful. But before I'd be like, oh, just, bring it, or I'll get snacks. Like my dad, like, and my mom both are grazers where Michael's not. So like always bring him snacks so he like doesn't get hangry or whatever. Just little things like that like make it feel more at home during the holidays, that you're not like scavenging for a hunger or whatever snack.
I always think this is even I do when I'm traveling, is I always have like a little box of just like my things, and it's just something easily grab. It's my electrolytes, it's my green powders. It might be little salt packages, because whenever I'm traveling, they never have like salt or whatever, and I always need so much salt, and just a couple treats. Like you said, I have this little like almost home away from home packets, and it fits nicely in the suitcase, almost like your toiletries. And you have that, and that's kind of really nice. Like if whether it be there's a candle you always use right before bed or something, it makes it smell if you're traveling and maybe you're at the in-laws, or just like little things that you can make your like nighttime routine, your snack, how you would go about your nutrition. It's kind of nice to have that with you.
Yeah, definitely. Next up is stay on point with hydration. And like Keltie just said, bring your electrolytes, bring a water bottle. Like I notice I don't drink that much water if I don't bring like a something like a what? I can't think of the word.
Water, well, like water a Stanley bottle, water bottle.
Kind of, yeah. Okay. I'm not a Stanley girly, but like
no, this isn't Stanley.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's Lulu. Heaven forbid she loses her Lulu water bottle. But should I tell the story?
No, I'm just kidding. I have told it. I've outed myself.
Says I say a lot of stories on repeat, so a few. I won't do that.
But I still love you.
I still love you too. But anyways, yeah, just like bring a water bottle, buy a water bottle that's affordable, like Target. Sometimes they have them for $5. But when I'm with my family, they're big social drinkers. We're big drinkers and playing games and things like that. I hate feeling so hungover. So if I'm just like doing it in moderation and also drinking water in between, that is maturity. That equals maturity.
I love that. I will say, because usually holidays mean drinking, I'm going to assume this. That's always my one non-negotiable when I'm drinking, when I'm going to a thing. Like I know my nutrition will be off, my sleep, my workouts, but my one is I have a deadline of how much water I have to get in, because that's something that's a ripple effect. So if you don't get enough water, your digestion's off, you're going to have a headache, you're going to have no energy the next day. I find the other things I can kind of bounce back from, but hydration, maybe not sleep, but even just I've put little reminders. I'll just open a notes app. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. Just like, oh, I had one glass. I just try and track that. And if you just do that at the end of the day, you're winning.
Yeah, there you go. Next up is stay active. And this doesn't have to be you go to the gym. If you want, awesome. Like I always will get a week pass wherever I go, just so I have the option, and they're usually pretty affordable. But go hiking. Like I feel like during this time, it's not too cold yet for our Thanksgiving girlies. So you can go, walk with dogs, spend time with family playing pickleball. Like I'm taking that from experience. Like whenever I go, for holidays, like my mom and I would go for walks, we go for runs. My dad, like we play pickleball together. It's just, I don't know, it's something different instead of just chilling on a couch, which that's fine too. But if you're like, I need to get out, I need movement, just go for a walk and then like leave your phone behind, and you actually get to spend time with your family without looking at technology.
I love it. And the point I said I knew we'd talk about later on is and I realize that I'm from a very active family. A lot of us love to do fitness. A lot of people don't like to work out. But if you can try and find a way, if you're someone who's really passionate about fitness, to get your family just moving, I could think it's a really fun way that like you said, it's not just sitting on there and not watching TV. You can go for a walk. I know many of times me and my girlfriends try to meet up because we're long distance and we all have busy nights because we're with their families. So we'll book like a YEG cycle, like a spin cycle. It's kind of like Soul Cycle and we all meet up, and that might be all we get, but we get to see each other. We get to get our activity in together. Me and my mom always go for walks. Occasionally we'll sign up for like a 5K run, which is like a lot of people can handle, or just do something. We do a golf tournament at like our lake, which is this really cheap golf. And that's been a really fun way to get everyone involved. And like half the people are awful, but it's just a nice thing to do in the day. And I find it's better than you feeling like you have to leave to go to the gym and they are like, we want to spend time with you. And think outside the box. It doesn't have to be a fitness class or a workout, but it can be golf or pickleball, walk, or just gardening. I don't know. Just try and move with your family, I think is a nice way to do it.
Gardening in the winter?
I don't know. It's moving. Actually, I'm shoveling snow.
True. And that's your parents will thank you.
Honestly, no, there's the hack. There's the hack. If you're like someone who's full of anxiety, like, I have to move, I have a workout, chores, shovel,
yes,
garden. And then they'll be like, wow. Or especially if you're like, the daughter-in-law or something, like how to get the mother-in-laws and you're trying to fit in. Shovel the snow. It's a workout. There you go.
Put her to work. Hack. That's hilarious.
Work. You better work, bitch.
Yeah. There's two types of people on vacation. The people that want to sit and do nothing and like drink and things like that. And then there's the people that like their idea of vacation is exercise and like getting out and like hiking and, you know, and I think it's funny. There's no right or wrong way, but, his brother-in-law, like he's married to Michael's sister, his family is like, they love sitting, drinking on a beach, like, and it drives her nuts because she is like very active and she'll say like, she'll call me and she'll be like, I'm going on a 5-mile walk by myself. They're drinking. It's fine. And I'm like, oh, okay, let's catch up. And he will come on our vacations and he'll be like, bro, like, you guys are exhausting me. And we're like, volleyball tournament, pickleball, hike on the rainforest, swimming, snorkel. And I'm like, no, that is my idea of relaxing.
I know.
An activity.
Everyone's is different.
Everyone's different, right?
And you got to read the room. For example, my perfect weekend, if we're a girls trip, we're going out, we're dancing, we're going to hear music, we're going to bed for a couple hours, up to sweat it out. We're going to go do cryo. We're going to do work. And I realize that's psychotic and no one else wants to do that. So I get one. I either get the late night or I get the early morning, but I can't expect anyone to do both. So sometimes it's compromise, but I'm forever looking for someone that wants to do both. And I'm built different.
You built different. I love it.
In a bad way. I was like, I don't think it's healthy.
No, a good way.
But you know what? I got energy to burn.
There you go. Exactly. All right, next up is self-care. And what I mean by that is like, how many times can we say walk? But like, spend time by yourself. So go to the gym. If you feel like overwhelmed with your family, just go for an hour. If they're giving you a hard time, it's a freaking hour. Like, they can go twiddle their thumbs. They can go watch a TV show and they'll be fine. Or like you said, meeting friends. Like, I understand family is important, but if you have like a childhood friend you really want to meet up with and like, it's just somebody you can have nonsense talk with and nice coffee, like pencil it in and just be okay with that. You know, like you give so much to everybody when you're visiting and a holiday, give yourself also something.
Exactly. I know one self-care one that is good for me is going to completely contradict what I just said, but sleep is also very important. And I'm really bad for not sleeping and I see the negative effects. And I do know there's a lot of times where I have to get up early because I'm visiting. So I have to fly home or whatever, and everyone's out later. And then like, I can already look, I'm like, I'm not even enjoying this. Everyone's, you know, drunk. I'm drunk. I'm like not really having fun. Everyone's staying up a lot later. And then you feel guilty that everyone's up and you have to go to bed, and just being okay that no one's going to hate you. You need to put that boundary up if you know getting that sleep in is going to benefit you. So that'd be like self-care sometimes can be boundaries.
Yes, that's a good one. Okay, next up is be realistic with how long you want to be there for and what you will be doing. And I say this if you have like maybe a family that work a lot. So you're like, okay, do I need to go for the whole week? Maybe not. Because like there's nothing worse than when you go and then like people are busy or like you're just feeling burnt out, whatever it is. Just plan it accordingly. I don't know if this is a real tip, but it's what I do with like, I know, like I said, my family's big drinking. I have learned to just like some days be like, I'm not going to drink. You guys can. I'm going to hang. But also just being realistic of like, I can't handle 2 weeks of that. Like I've got to go for a week to save my sanity or something, right? So like, don't be afraid with just putting that as a boundary of being like, how long do you want to plan for it? Even if you have family coming to visit you, you're hosting. If you don't want, like, say you have to work the next week, be honest with them and be like, hey, you can entertain yourself, but like, I got stuff to do. I can't be bothered by this, like X, Y, and Z after the holidays.
I like that. Yeah. Just being like, and being actually honest with yourself. Because sometimes I'm like, oh, I'll do this and I'll do this. And like, I used to plan 100 things with different people. I used to travel back, and anyone I felt I had to meet up with, I had to, you know, meet up with this person from my high school and this person who I DM occasionally still on Instagram, all these. And then my one best friend, Lexi, one time got mad at me and she was like, why are you spending this time with these people and I haven't seen you? And I was like, wow, as bad as it sounds, it was true. I was like spending time with this girl I've met once, but she wanted to meet up. And then all these other people, and then suddenly I was like, I'm back to be with my closest friends and closest families. And obviously you want to spend time with a lot of people, but be realistic with how you're actually spending that time, and like versus like, well, check this off, check this off, check off. And now like I don't even announce when I'm going back. I know this sounds bad, but I'm like, I'm only going back to be with like my closest people, and you only have so much time. And it's not that I don't want to see those people, but the reality is you only have so many hours. So like try not to spread yourself too thin, and be realistic with your time.
Yeah, I love that. I think people that move away from their hometowns can definitely relate to that. And it's also natural to let those friendships fade or just keep them as DM, whatever. Like,
exactly.
At the end of the day, sometimes you have to be honest and be like, how often am I going to see this person? First, how
100%.
often am I going to see my, person that was my bridesmaid, whatever it is.
Fully.
So yeah. And it's not you being mean. It's just you being like, I don't live here. Like I'm on a time crunch.
Yeah. And if people don't understand that, like, I'd rather spend 3 times with my family than once with my family, once with this person, once with that person, like, you know what I mean? I was like, if you can't understand that, I was like, that says it all. Do you know what I mean? Like,
definitely.
What I mean? So, yeah. Then I've got 2 little bonus ones. And then one kind of goes off with, I think a big thing is just enjoying the moment and being present. And I think that's what a lot of us can do because we're so go, plan A this. We're on our nutrition. We're on our workouts. This is the next thing. And then before you know it, you're like stressing out, like, oh, have I got enough vegetables, enough fruit, all this. And you're all over the place. And the moment passed you by. And easier said than done, but just try and be present when it's a family dinner. Sit there, enjoy the food, especially that food that, your auntie always brings the broccoli bake, and have the broccoli bake. And it's one day, really be present. And I think something magical happens when you just enjoy the moment and you don't think of it as good or bad, or I'm falling off, or this is going to make my digestion do this and all that. And it's like, it's one day, maybe a couple, just enjoy it and listen to your body. And I hate that because people are like, my body tells me to eat nachos at 6 a.m. How am I supposed to do that? Like, I get it. But I just try and be present with your friends and family and just enjoy it. And I think you will never look at it as a bad thing, because I think a lot of health and wellness is, this is good, this is bad. Who cares? You're in the moment. And this is what you'll remember in 60 years. So who cares about anything else? So just enjoy it. Be present.
Oh, I love that. And that even goes with like your phone. Like, do you need to scroll? And I mean, also, like, you have bedtime, whatever, like, have your time, but like, put it away. And like you said, like, ask the grandma the questions you've never thought. Or it's just like, once you're an adult, you get to see your family members as like friends at that point, and you're like, oh, this is fascinating. I've never noticed this before.
Yeah. Here's a little hack. Family time, airplane mode. Because we all want to take photos and videos or that, but then like, how do you stop scrolling and see what other people? Put your phone on airplane mode for a little bit so you can still take the photos and videos. You need the timer, all that, but then you're not influenced to go and just check what other people are doing on Thanksgiving versus, well, you just living at Thanksgiving or whatever holiday it is you choose to celebrate.
Love that.
And then I got one more, and this kind of goes off of, try and plan a family activity. Me and my family have started doing this the last few years, and it's been so much fun because, it was always the focal point. Dinner will always be there, or breakfast or lunch, but we've started doing golfing at Thanksgiving. And then my mom, I'm usually gone, unfortunately, on Christmas Day because I spend it in Sweden now, but they always do like figure skating or something. And it's just like a really fun way to get the family to do like new experiences together. And it's nice that it's healthy, but it's less about that. It's just like, it's just golfing or figure skating. But I find those have been really fun memories and just kind of break the mold up of just sitting there cooking. And that's something to look forward to. It kind of makes this whole entire day of it, which I really like.
Oh, I love that. Even fun tournaments. We always do a what's it called? Cornhole tournament.
We used to do a big ping pong family. Every year there's tournaments. We do brackets, and it got crazy. And we were very, very passionate about it, especially once I realized everyone was also drunk when I was young. I didn't realize that, why it got so rowdy.
Isn't that the best? You're like, oh, you're so silly.
I know. I was like, oh, everyone loves ping pong so much. It's like, your family was wasted. That's why. But we sold the house that had the ping pong table. Well, my aunt sold the house, so RIP. Now we go figure skating.
That's fun, though. I love that. All right. So with that being said, should we jump into some confession sessions?
Yes, we should.
Okay. Mine's holiday themed. Have I told this story before? I want to make sure. Of my dad zapping the dog?
No, this I've not heard.
This is good. So we're at my dad's for Christmas one year, and his dog like really does not like Bentley, and he'll do this like zombie growl at him. And so he puts on this collar. He's never shocked him. He only has a beep. but like the beep scares him, right? Or it's like a little vibration.
Yeah.
And he would just keep it on him because he will like snarl and get really nasty. And he just like, do the little beep. And the guy's like, okay, I'll calm down. Well, my dad had meat. And so Bentley and his dog Skippy came out at the same time. And Skippy just starts losing his mind, like really mad at Bentley. And we're like, oh, like, and my stepmom had her sister and her husband over, and they're very prim and proper. They're very sweet, but they're just very prim and proper, where my dad, Michael, and I are secretly taking shots in the kitchen because we're like, oh my God, let's like play a game or something, like dinner's done. So he's putting away the beef. Skippy comes out, and he doesn't want him like snarling and everything in front of her family. So he grabs the remote, but he accidentally grabs the zapper. And he's like, oh no. And Skippy loses his mind. And we're like, Dad, what are you doing? And he's like, oh my God, Skippy, I'm so sorry. And he like goes to turn it off, accidentally zaps him again. Skippy is losing his mind. Bentley starts howling. He's like, what is going on here? And my stepmom was so mad at my dad, not us, but Michael and I are like, we didn't do it. And it's just like the funniest thing. I mean, obviously Skippy was fine. It was like the lowest, voltage, and it obviously he doesn't get it often. But my dad was in so much trouble that Christmas, and he was like, I'm so sorry, I wasn't trying to do it. And she's like, now they think that like we're mean to our dog. And it was all over a beeping collar. So watch what buttons you press, people.
You don't know what remotes to what. You could be at some rude awakening at holidays.
Exactly.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, my confession session for the week, and I feel really bad about this. So I ran my half marathon. I was running and I had gum in my mouth. There's a garbage can, and you're ripping, I'm making good pace, and I go to whip it and just threw it straight into the bush. Like completely missed the garbage can. And normally I'd pick it up, but it's like in the bush. I'm sorry, it's not being found. And I just felt really bad because all these people are around and just see me blatantly litter. It looked like
you look like
you're running
a weird litterer.
Huh? I know. And it's like BC. People are very passionate about their litter.
Yes, absolutely.
I am too. I don't litter, but I missed it. And normally, like you said, but it's a little gum. I won't find it. It'd take half an hour if I even find it then. But I have to confess my sins that I littered in front of many of people with gum.
Somebody arrest her. They were like, that YouTuber, she doesn't appreciate the environment.
She just throws her trash out, like her gum. Like, ew. She's probably one of the ones that sticks it under a table. I've never done that.
Me either.
Also, confession, I've never once. I also once, isn't xylitol poisonous for dogs? Is that not true?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I believe I read once xylitol is poisonous to dogs, which is in a lot of gum. So I'm paranoid of dropping gum anywhere. Because it's like, if that's on my conscience that a dog ate my gum and died. I've never heard of this happening, so it's probably not true. But it stops me from littering, knowing you could kill a dog. So don't spit out your gum, people.
Have you ever seen just a random human blatantly litter in front of you? It is like one of the most appalling things I have ever witnessed.
Unfortunately, you see it a lot. I guess not so much in Toronto, but Toronto has these massive dumps because like the trash cans get so overflown that it's just beside it. And so people just kind of toss it in there. And so I guess that's different. But you know what used to happen in Alberta a lot? The throwing out the window. That's the one. That gets me. So you just look and you're like, what if
so
someone's
barbaric.
walking? You could just actually hit someone. You know what I mean? I'm like, that's so, you have a car. You have something, you can hold it in your car. I hate to say it. At least when you're walking, it's like, yeah, you're holding something. I see why people do it. I don't believe it. But in a car, you could have a trash can in your car.
They're literally disgusting. It's like the most repulsive thing. But one time, no, you go ahead. Oh, I was just going to say, it's an embarrassing confession
Canadian
session.
sound off.
Okay, here's another one. I was in Girl Scouts for an abnormal amount of time, okay? Mm-hmm. And I used to go every year to this camp. I think it was called Camp Robbinswold. And it was in Canada. Maybe it was near Canada. I don't know. But just thought I'd throw that tidbit in for you. But we would do an overnight where like we'd stay at the cabins, and then the overnight we'd sleep, outside, and we'd hike to it. And we had to like cross this highway. And I remember somebody threw sodas at us and they called us losers.
Oh my God.
I know. I was like,
that's savage.
Maybe 14, 13. I know.
People are crazy. People are crazy.
They saw us in our Girl Scout uniforms and they were bullying us.
Boy Scouts for sure. Just kidding.
Yeah. Boy Scouts wouldn't do that. They have the honor.
True. Also true.
Mm-hmm. They would
Anti-Boy
stick up
Scout.
for us. Yeah,
What's the opposite of Boy Scout? The anti-Boy Scout of America.
I don't know. People that just make fun of people. Mean people. But I remember us just being like, oh, is this not cool? I dropped after that. No, I'm kidding. I stayed in it.
I mean, I wouldn't blame you.
I can tie my knots really well and start a fire, not to toot my own horn.
It's a practical thing to do. It's a practical thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
What did basketball give me? I can miss gum when I run by. So it didn't even give me that. Like, no practical skills. But the one skill I'd get, and that was also, I was running. I was so confident. I was like, basketball. I'm like, oh no.
You're like, cut that apple.
Thing.
Cut it.
20 years of shooting things.
That's hilarious. Out the drain. What were you going to say?
Oh, yes. Okay. But I will say one thing. What's your take on littering into forest compostable things? Example, apple core. You're chewing an apple core. You're driving down the highway. You throw it into trees. It's going to decompose. It is nature. It's, you know what I mean? Real no different than compost. What's your take on that?
I guess that's fine. I still don't really throw things out my window, but it's just not my thought to do. But I guess it's fine because maybe a deer would like the scraps.
That's why I'm like, is that? I don't even drive, so this isn't even something I'm doing. But I'm like, I guess
I would still think it's weird. I would still think it's trashy for you to do that. But to each their own.
See, I would never do it because I would be scared someone to think I'm throwing out something that isn't compostable. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And for that reason, I wouldn't do it. Even if it was an apple, they're like, what happens if they think it's a can or something?
Yeah, definitely.
Was
that what you were going to bring up?
Talking? Yeah, I was just curious.
Oh, all right.
Here's the take on littering.
I don't know, but I mean,
riveting content.
Being from, where you live now and me growing up in Seattle, we would plant trees as projects. I didn't realize how many people weren't conscious of that kind of stuff. And I just realized, Seattle's extreme. I didn't know that until I moved away.
I've lived in Alberta and BC, and it's a polarizing difference.
It literally, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Actually, Alberta's not bad. Anyways, I don't want to trash Alberta. Love you. But sometimes.
We're going to end this before she digs herself in a hole with the Albertans.
Please, get out.
But thank you for tuning in for a fun Thanksgiving episode. We hope you enjoy your holidays. And we'll talk to you. Don't forget to leave us a review, submit a confession session, submit a question on our Instagram, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.